to make a very tough call if they potentially want to get out of what could be a bad contract.
So Pierre-Luc Dubois has been traded to the Washington Capitals. And it's interesting for a player that was taken so high in the 2016 draft, 3rd overall by Columbus. He just has not stayed in one place for too long. Looking at the statistics right here on the screen, you can see 3 years and a little bit of change with the Jackets. Those are good numbers for a young player. But unfortunately for him, what he'll be famously known for during his tenure was his zero-effort shift and John Tortorella absolutely losing it on him. He gets dealt to the Winnipeg Jets, and again, solid production, but after 3 seasons, they move on from him, and there was rumors about him being a toxic player in the locker room. And for the LA Kings, he only lasted 1 year. It's a bit absurd a player this young, only being 25 years old, mind you, has moved this much. When PLD plays up to his capability, he is a very solid contributor. Will he ever justify the 3rd overall? I mean, if he could be a 60, 70 point guy, he's not going to be a superstar, but he can be productive. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out with the LA Kings. The Washington Capitals end up getting him. And this guy is locked up and through the 2030-31 season, and he's making $8.5 million against the cap per year. He is the 2nd highest paid player on the Washington Capitals. Now, the Caps didn't have to give up much. I mean, Kuemper did not have a great year statistically last season. The Kings bring him in because they have goaltending woes and they're hoping he can return to form. But this is a lot to bring on as the Capitals, and it shows, at least in my opinion, a little bit of desperation to bring in some solid players to at least compete and perform better in the playoffs while Ovechkin is going through his twilight years. I usually don't like to talk about speculation off the ice, but you know the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. It is highly unusual for such a high draft pick at the age of 25 to already have been on 4 teams at this point. If Pierre-Luc Dubois wants to salvage his reputation, he's gonna have to turn a new leaf and have 0 issues in that Capitals locker room. And one thing a lot of people are saying that I do agree with, due to him being locked up in a long-term deal, a guy that has struggled with effort, he could really phone it in if he wants to. Now, I think players do have pride. And I don't know PLD personally, none of us do. I'm assuming he's got to have some type of pride to not look like a complete disaster of a contract. But I don't know about this Washington Capitals trade. I think you're bringing yourself in a headache. And while sure, Darcy Kuemper still had a few years left on his deal, Lindgren came in and played spectacular. Kuemper did not look great. He had a sub-900 save percentage. So you kind of get rid of that contract headache, but you bring in a worse contract headache with more term in PLD when you don't know how he'll be in the locker room and you don't know the effort he'll bring forth on a day-to-day basis. I think this was a mistake, but I could slightly understand both sides. The Kings are hoping Kuemper can turn it around. The Capitals are hoping they can get the best version of PLD, because the best version of him is a solid top 6 player. When the cap going up, the contract won't look as bad as time goes on. But I'd like to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What have you thought of this trade? Do you think it's going to be a disaster? Do you think it's a good thing? Cat the Paul. See you in the next one.